Car Ying Rising moved up to overpass, clear from Jimmy Star, but Car Ying Rising, champions do what others can't. He's the world's best sprinter, no doubt. Car Ying Rising won the Everest.
Welcome to Bet Doctor Behind the Curtain. Look at how pro punters operate. I'm your host, Scoot. It is boiling up at the Gold Coast. Spring is here. Summer's nearly here. I'm excited. Walt, how are you?
Good. I'm ready for Geelong Part 2.
Great, isn't it? 2-dayer.
Awesome. Well, it was pretty funny. Watching them before the first race when the trees were like 100-year-old oak trees or whatever, eucalyptus trees bending like bloody. It was hilarious. But anyway.
The best thing was the bomb predicted that it was going to be gale force and completely cactus at 3 o'clock. They didn't move the Geelong Cup at all and just bored right ahead. And sure as day, they got through, 2 or 3 races and called it off. Like they got a massive warning and just still didn't change it. I don't understand why you don't just push the most important race to race 1 or 2 and get it out of the way.
If you're going to do that, or they obviously had this as a backup plan.
Wow.
Anyway.
Mind-blowing stuff. Nico, are you on the backup down to Geelong? Where are you at?
No, I'm not going back down there. I spent half my day wasted there yesterday. So, not heading back. That was a bit disappointing. But, yeah, the riding was sort of on the wall. I thought, oh, they're probably going to get through this. And then pretty much when they called off the meeting, the weather just got a lot worse. The wind really picked up and, it was pretty grim conditions out there. So, probably not too bad a Thursday, really, sitting on the couch with Mornington and Geelong for today. So, hopefully a few winners.
Mate, kiting the day before. Do you guys like racing down there or what?
Yeah, kite, that was a bit disappointing. And, yeah, it sort of seems like that was a bit riding on the wall after their last meeting, talking to some participants. So, yeah, a little bit disappointing there. But we put that all in the rearview mirror, head out to the Valley on Saturday for probably the last time at the track that we're all used to knowing. So race 10, the Cox Plate, hopefully a big send-off.
I expect you to take your little shovel, Nico, and Matty Rao, just take a hunk of turf back so you can eat it and manage it back
I need
there.
to find some sort of memorabilia to steal from the track. Maybe I have to get a painting or something to hang up on the wall in here. Might have to try and steal one.
I tried to, my brief moment there, but came out with nothing. Big thanks to Ladbrokes and Punting Form who sponsored the show. And speaking of rearview mirror, we'll have a quick talk about last week. Car Ying Rising was a good one that we found. Not sure how we found it. Private Eye was an absolute gift, half yours. You boys were declaring it, and good on you and Trav for getting on at the good odds. Linebacker finally got his turn. And then Eagle Farm Party for 2 I sort of threw out. And was it Guru Warrior? And there was another one for Shane Adair last week. The name just sort of escapes me. Something Thinker or something. We did
too many winners.
Shady Thinker, and we slammed it in the Mates Mode pot. So it was a great final leg of a multi. So on fire, the boys last week, and the misses were a bit comical. Swift Falcon, I think I'm cured. I'm self-reporting.
Run of the day again. What a nightmare of a creature. And did you realise how unlucky Lake Forest was at the time? Like I didn't realise until hearing from
Maureen
Haggis today. And then I went back to look at the replay and I can see it was a certainly beat. I can exactly see what she's talking about.
Yeah, they don't go slower than Lake Forest did, and all the vigorous riding in the world wouldn't have saved that one. That was the big miss from us. It went like a busted.
Lester's sister, she's woken up on the happy juice, old Maureen, but I'd like some of whatever she's having.
Can't wait for Hong Kong International Day when Haggis sends one over and Zach just puts it over the fence.
What about when someone's got to ride it at Champions Day next Saturday? What are they going to do?
Huxtable.
Oh, yeah.
Jake Tracy home.
JPH. Who's going to stand over it? Like, what are you going to do? It's hilarious. I hope it comes out and shits. It'll be hilarious.
The other one was Deshenka, my Eagle Farm tip. If there's ever a tape of how not to ride them, there's another horse in the race, Sevillo. It got butchered, and Ben Thompson. I'm not sure. All these Hong Kongs rubbed off, and there's none of it left. His ride on Deshenka was terrible, and he's had a couple of stinkers lately, Benny Thompson.
It was funny. He was the one who got questioned, but Rory didn't. And then Rory was given a couple of slaps to the head. Oh, there's a bit of a weird race, that one. I don't... anyway, move on.
Save me, though, Deshenka, out-bobbing Sevillo. Something escalated in Walt's chat last Thursday after we recorded the show, and I bet a couple of hours working in a florist in a shop down at Southport. So it was going to be an absolute debacle.
It wasn't going to be a debacle. It was going to be absolutely excellent. I had the footage lined up, mate. It was going to be on for young and old. I had pot plant cam. I had every cam known to man. everywhere, and now it's all on the back burner.
Tuesday, I went and collected the voucher, and the oysters down there were outstanding. And it was so busy. I actually got bad anxiety. I thought, I'm never, ever going to bet
Mate,
customer service facing job ever again.
you got to let him on round 2.
No, I'm too scared. Speaking of embarrassment, Joe Pride, David Copperfield, you said he would be. Have you got your Twitter's trainer's license ready to hand in?
Well, as you know, I'm unavailable for licensing, so that's a bit lucky. So it remains unofficial, but too good Joey, too good Chad, too good Joey. But yeah, that last 100 metres was something to behold, wasn't it? When it just the afterburners kicked in, it ran away. I thought Pericles was going to trot up at a couple others down the outside, and then Big Bad Joey's been keeping them up his sleeve for 6 years, those blinkers, and off she goes. But well done.
I was surprised he didn't back him up for the Cox Plate, given how weak the field is.
Keeping it to a mile, right? I think he's up against Lake Forest again next time. I assume that's where he's going. So, yeah.
Nico, here's one for you, Sedelius, and we're having a look at some of the embargoes on screen here with his Racing Australia report here. Mate, that rap sheet's pretty longer than P. Diddy, I'd say. The scans are starting to loom large. Melbourne Cup time. Obviously, the Cox Plate's been affected. Globes come out this morning after...
It's definitely out?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, because last I saw it said it worked unbelievable this morning. Jockey said it felt great, and yeah, okay.
That's news to me. Mick Kent Jr., Nico, he came out and said that the horse is fine. It's a tiny little bit of swelling around like his ankle. What do you make of all this?
Well, like they could have said that right after the gallop, but then 15 minutes, 20 minutes later, when the adrenaline sort of goes away, that might have swelled up a little bit more. So, yeah, there's probably a little bit more to the story there. But Sedelius, that was really disappointing, I think, more than anything. And yeah, I don't know. I think the way the Melbourne Cup is now, like they have fixed it in terms of the overall look. Like it wasn't a great look for a few years there, but a lot of those horses that were breaking down were probably the internationals that were fresh off the plane, whereas he has been here and acclimatized. So maybe there should be some sort of different ruling if you've been here and had the acclimatization to our firm tracks. I don't know what it is working, but it's sort of hurting the sport at the same time. So it's a tough situation to be in, I think.
Were they allowed to hold, Nico, like I was just reading the form guide of the scans. Could they have held it up until after the Cox Plate and not scanned it? Or do they just, I assume if you don't think there's an issue, you just go whenever you want. But I don't think anyone will be scanning before the Cox Plate again if they're hoping to run in both.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be a problem going forward. If you're looking to run in both, well, you might just say no Melbourne Cup and just go straight to the Cox Plate because you can get ruled out pretty fast. I think they are, from what I know, I think they are mandatory dates from what I know. I think you had to get done at that date to be ticked off for the Cup. So that's from what I know. I might be in the wrong there, but if you got to, like, say next year, they might not even bother looking at the Cup. He'll probably have too big a handicap anyway if he has the sort of same autumn they did the spring, because he'll get 59 kilos if he wins the Queen Elizabeth and sort of goes unbeaten again. But it's a really sort of changing beast, the Melbourne Cup, from what it was a few years ago, where you could get those weight for age horses. We'll probably never see them again if the scans stay the way they are, because people will be too scared to get ruled out of a Cox Plate.
And I'll throw the tin hat on for a second, put you back on the spot again, Nico. Vase pulled out of the Melbourne Cup just before the scans were due. Can I get your comment on that, please, sir?
Yeah, like I don't think that is tin hat. Like I think that's going to be the norm going forward. Like why would you risk her from their point of view if she was a potential to fail? Like it seems like about 1 in 6 of them fail at the moment. So I think that's going to be a common theme going forward where, in years gone by, you might have had, your Hartnells and So You Thinks and that pushing on from a Cox Plate. I don't think you're going to see it at all now because they'll be too worried to get ruled out of the big grand final.
Which is true, right? Like if your goal is the Cox Plate and it's a backup to run the Melbourne Cup, and it's only if everything goes perfect you're going to end up there. It's a bit of a no-brainer, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. I think that's the way it's going to just continue to evolve the scans.
Oh, very sticky. My black book notes after the Turnbull run was on Vase was racing like she wants 3,200. I thought the Cup was going to start to suit her, but wow, that tin foil from left field's really got the blood flowing here. I like it. Yeah, I think that's great.
We're up and about early, and we're not even to Adelaide yet.
Oh, speaking of blood and things up and about, finally, this is our last review mirror. I thought the crowd mic effects on the broadcast were terrible last Saturday at the Everest. Okay, we get it. It's a 51,000 deep crowd, but we're trying to listen to the race call, and it was just childish. It was just tacky and typical Racing New South Wales.
You'd boo Santa Claus, mate.
But I'm trying to listen to the race. I get
To be fair, and you know what
that's your big day. Good on you.
No, but you know what? Yeah, exactly. And it's their big, but it is their big day. So let them have that day. Can we just stretch it out to more than one day a year? That's all I'm looking for. But, you know, they can do whatever they like on that day. They can have parades. They can have monster trucks doing things.
Burnouts.
I saw a 2-minute review of yesterday, the highlight package. There was not one bet. I think there was one horse in it. There was just, that's not their priority. Racing and betting's not their priority. So let them have that day. But can we have a bit of help on the others?
The other thing that I really got my goat up was Julie Ritchie, who was quite vocal about the Save Rose Hill. They didn't even let her on the boat for the barrier draw. She was a guest of one of the owners that was in the race, and they saw her at the door and said, no, thanks, you're not allowed to come in. How classless is that? Anyway, that's the end of that. Good news last week. The hosted pot was outstanding in the mates mode. Hat full of winners, so many winners. Everyone was happy and got Ladbrokes, and everyone betting on the side for themselves would have had a really, really good day. So everyone across all 4 states was in fine form, and it was just a bugger that Eagle Farm got cancelled the last couple of races because, there's lightning around, and we had multis rolling in the last couple of races. We had the quaddie going and everything going, so it could have been a bonanza, but it was still a bonanza anyway. This Saturday we got another one about 11 o'clock. It'll finish up, or we'll close at 11 and we'll start betting, and we'll bet until the last race, which is the Cox Plate, after 2 big meetings there. And I think you've got one Sunday as well.
The last of 20. Yeah, I'm due Sunday. I've as much as you've been on fire, I've the last Sunday. Oh my God, I spent like 8 hours doing form, and I don't think there was a horse that could win any of the races I looked at. But you get what you put in front of you, and win every race. We'll be back.
Yeah, I pulled out of the last race in Sydney. I think it was one of the best things I've done. So you can just stop them early.
What's that?
Well, you could get jammed in the last race. So just pretend something else is the last race.
Yeah, well, that's it.
Little tip from me. What do I know? Moonee Valley, let's have a quick look at the weather. They've got 17 mil forecast Sunday. So if that hit early, there's trouble. Adelaide have got 9 mil Saturday, but it's not hitting until around 2 o'clock, which is troublesome. And then Eagle Farm clear, Randwick clear. Nico's got the Cox Plate double. So he's got Friday night and then Saturday. There's still some backdoor Moonee Valley Cup hopefuls on the Friday night, and then obviously Cox Plate is a ripper on Saturday. You got Spring Champion Day on Saturday, Walt. I'm going to have a look at one at Eagle Farm, and Shane Adair, he's tipped 2 last week. He's in person. He's in our Adelaide studio. He's got more money than all of us at the moment. And in the Ladbrokes mates mode pot, they're saying, oh, get this guy on every week. And I had to remind them they must be new. I said, well, he's one of the OGs. Original gangster. Our man beat the bagman.
Sweet Caroline.
Oh, go away.
He's not done that.
Boom. Oh, Empress Fever. I've still got it, fellas. I'm back.
Oh, I don't know where to go with that, but you do vote with your feet, and you're going to the Derby. So that's the one day on the calendar that you've marked out. So don't give us your faux love for
He's going to hell after singing that.
You could be off next week. Are you worried a little bit about the weather, the 9 mil forecast for this Saturday? I know you're always going to do race 1, but as the card evolves, does the rain around worry you?
Just taking your tip as just call this one the last race, Scoot. That's all I'm doing. I just took your advice earlier. It's been quite wet all week actually in South Australia, so we'll get another dose on Saturday. I think it will be probably in that soft range if the rain hits. So well needed for my garden that I've just scoured back, and the grass is looking nice coming into spring. Scoot, just a little update for your listeners.
Did the Everest make the news in all seriousness? Was it covered?
Not to the extent you think it should be through media in South Australia, even through the mainstream media is quite concerning. I know there was a discussion around the ABC sports shows there. They didn't broadcast it either about the Everest or Caulfield Cup for that note. So, it is a little bit concerning considering the crowd they get for both events.
It is crazy, isn't it?
What's that?
But SA just don't talk about the racing.
They don't?
No, not really. I don't like it.
Well, Sydney don't talk about Caulfield Cup, so And Melbourne allegedly don't talk about the Everest. So it's all just very strange, isn't it? Like every race is a race, isn't it? Why would you want to talk about them all?
Let's talk about the first at Morphettville. It's the Ladbrokes Blended Multi 1050. It's a 2-year-old event here. Blandford Baron is the favourite 205. Got tickets 380. Port Arlington 460. Rebel Tuesday 650. Tag along miss $9. Oops, I peltzed 151. Some interesting names there, and I did really well not to pronounce the 6 differently there because I had something else on mine. But let's have a look at Blandford Baron, and there's only 3 of these that have raced, and this is it in the yellow with the red sleeves. Talk us through it.
Yeah, Blandford Baron, they actually put up about $2.50, $2.60 when I sent this through, Scoot. So it's been well backed in early betting. This is Blandford Baron behind Inhabit, a well supported and dominant trial winner from the Michael Hickmont yard winning the race. You can see Blandford Barons ran Inhabit all the way to the line there. I think blinkers on. It gets a nice little weight claim too with Caitlin Tootle coming on carrying the 3 kilos. Actually brings it a kilo under the minimum. It was well back Blandford Baron when markets went up on its debut run as well. So there was a bit of stable support there to think that it could run Inhabit all the way. It probably did, and we just found Inhabit a little bit too good on the day. I think with that race experience, it should be able to settle pretty well, I think, from that barrier 3. Travis Dowdle yard going really well at the moment and a stable to follow, I think, this racing season if you're one to cast an eye over the South Australian form. And Blandford Baron will get us off to a winning start, Walt, in race 1, just for you, mate.
Mate, race 1's that's not race 1. We're at Rotorua and all sorts of joints before there.
That's all right.
I just hope she goes straight to the front because that gave me PTSD watching her try and
Port
flap
Arlington,
the reins at it.
Port Arlington from the Stokes yard.
Yeah, there was a little bit of specking when that opened. The trial was okay, but it has eased a bit in markets just before I come on air this morning. So it's always around the mark. Good combination, the Stokes Opperman team. But look, I'm happy to probably oppose it at that price from what I've seen at the trials.
Nico, left field, Caulfield Heath, trial form, got tickets, Brown Camp. Do you know it?
Yeah. Yep. I've seen her in a couple trials. I would have thought anything with serious 2-year-old ability would be from Melbourne, would be racing in Melbourne this time of year. So if they're going over to Adelaide, it's probably a little bit of a knock.
Pen job.
Maybe
Beautiful.
not a pen job, but yeah, a bit of a knock.
All right, Morphettville race 1, number 1, keep it simple, Blandford Baron. And she's humming along at the moment, Caitlin Tootle. Good value and can trust at the moment looking at mypuntingform.com.au data. So off to a good start there, and I'll probably have to back it in some of my Ladbrokes Mates Mode multis to kick us off for the day. So Blandford Baron race 1. Let's have a look at race 8. It's the Peter Elberg Funerals, benchmark 64, 1600 metre handicap, and touchdowns the favourite here, $2.35. Cockatoo Rose, $7. Tower of Tuscany, $7.50. Collated, $10. Alange, $10. Highgarden, $10. And then you got Cullen Skink at $14. Harley and Rose, $19. And Better the Rest. Touchdown is the horse we're going to have a look at in the haze, white and green sash. This is a Ballarat, 0-62. Here it is getting to the outside, and Dancing Dolly's just miles in front.
Yeah, it wasn't probably Luke Nolan's greatest ride. If Maureen Haggis had to comment about
Had the mic.
poor old Zach, yeah, it might have copped a bit of a spray there, old Luke. I think, unfortunately for this one, was caught wide, drifted back. The leaders didn't go, had a cracking speed and took off and was just left 15, 20 lengths behind the leaders. You can see in the coverage, it made a ton of ground up. It was well supported in the betting. The start prior at sale, it actually bolted in a maiden, this horse, at around $1.16 quote. So it's got ability. It comes to Adelaide. I think the engagement of Todd Panel will suit its racing style. It likes to get back and run on. The competition here is pretty much made its mark. I think Touchdown is a horse on the up, will be winning. I had it marked well into the red. So I think we can make that the best bet of the day at Morphettville.
Wow, looks really well suited looking at the numbers I see. Nico, what are your thoughts? You'd be across this horse?
Yeah, he's a good horse, Touchdown. He won at short odds first up, and that was because the rating he put down the start prior would sort of already see him winning Metropolitan class races. So the market should probably gravitate towards those ratings, and in a race where, it's Adelaide horses, it's sort of like Shane said, look like they've found their mark. I could see him starting well into the red if a few of the big syndicates chime in, because they probably can off his ratings.
Race 8, number 4, Touchdown. So 2 shorties, but strike rate and pot at the moment. It's absolutely airborne, Bagman. So get these two home and might have to try and scalp you some Oasis tickets if you haven't already got them.
Oh, I'm there, mate. I'm front and center. I've got my bucket cap and Adidas trackie ready to go, mate. So I'll be singing, obviously in between singing Sweet Caroline as well, singing Oasis songs.
Oh, obviously it doesn't clash with any Neil Diamond tribute bands on that night. So that's
No,
good to see.
I wouldn't have that. Well, I'd definitely prioritise Neil Diamond.
Outstanding. All right, Morphettville, that's a wrap from us, and we'll catch you next week. FIFO.
Thank you, gents. Have a good weekend.
Thanks, mate. He's absolutely on fire. So follow them with plenty of confidence, and it's great that he takes out all the painful Adelaide work for us. Makes life really simple. Nice little layup. Speaking of a layup, hopefully Friday night for you, Nico. Are you going to do the double from the yard?
Yep, heading out there for both. So it doesn't look like a layup Friday night. It looks like a pretty tough card, but there was sort of a few there that interested. The big thing is going to be at the track. So like 1 to 5 mil probably doesn't, like even if 5 or even more comes, it probably doesn't mean a whole lot for Moonee Valley, to be honest, given how firm the track is now. Like the winds yesterday, although they got some rain, it would have really not done a whole lot given how strong the winds were. So I'd sort of be expecting Friday night could be real sort of old school Moonee Valley up and in leaders, and then it might sort of even out come Saturday, but they haven't really released any information of what they're doing with the rail and those sort of things. So a little bit in the dark, but yeah, typical Moonee Valley probably to start, and then maybe a bit even for Saturday was my gut feel.
It's held up really well compared to what everyone thought at the start of spring, hasn't it? So fingers crossed they can just limp to the line here.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the way the track has sort of raced when the rail's in the true position, which it should be for both meetings, it's raced like pretty well, really. So yeah, I'd be thinking Saturday, unless something really weird happens, or Friday night's a complete road and you can't make any ground. Well, I'd be thinking you're sort of defaulting towards how it's played the last 3 months, and that's been pretty fair.
All right, let's have a look at Friday. This is one of your better bets on the card. It's race 3. It's the Evergreen Turf, benchmark 70, 20, 40 metres. Amledo from the Maryard, $3.20 favourite here. Farewell to Air is $5. Hot to Go, $6.50. Cable Dancer, $8.50. XPT, $11. And you got So Brave, $11. Jabberwockies, $12. Saxon Beauty, $13. And let's have a look at Amledo. It's 4th here. It's in the Mar blue and pink, so it's had a change of ownership, and now it's Rupert Lee's colours. But there it is, 4th in the pale blue and pink.
Yeah, and had to make... He was sort of back in the field early, then made a bit of a mid-race move. They weren't going that hard, and then was left exposed a long way out. He just sort of grinds to the line. But this was a day, especially in the circle races. So if you take away sort of the shoot races where Gear Kick and a Point Barrow ran on from the back, like the circle was extremely hard to make ground. So I think he was probably in the worst spot, 3 wide, working most of the trip. I sort of found him first up in the yard and thought, gee, this horse has returned really well for a horse. I think he had like 500 days off or something. And I thought third up, and here he is, third up, off a bit of a give run last start. He's back in grade from racing in Saturday grade. This is pretty much a midweek race. So the only real worry would be if the fence is on fire in the first 2 races, because he's probably not going to lead, but he's going to get in a spot where I would imagine he's one off the fence, and 2,000 metres is probably a little bit different to say if it was a 1,200 metre race. So if the pattern's not necessarily in his favour, maybe the 2,000 can somewhat offset that. But I just thought he was really well placed. Back from the Saturday class races, should map well, and hopefully he's just too good for him.
Ethan Brown on Walt's man.
Mate, that race. You're a sicko, Nico. You're a sicko.
Well, when you look at these horses all the time, you know all the ins and outs of all these horses. Like Hot to Go was, he was in that replay and going up and down the one spot where Lino was going straight past him by the Moody filly Farewell to Air. Like she's drawn in hell for Moonee Valley, so it was just it might be the layup to start the weekend potentially.
It's so shallow, the race. I reckon there's nothing in it.
I spent like 10 minutes on it and got a headache and said, Nico, you're too good. I'm running with whatever he says.
In Nico we trust. Amledo, the banker, race 3, Moonee Valley. Anything for us in the Moonee Valley Cup, Nico, on Friday night? Question without any sort of notice, but if just pluck one.
I'll just have a quick look. Geelong Cup. I thought One Smooth Operator, he's come out of the Geelong Cup. I thought he's probably the one. He's not really in any good form, but it's a shocking race, the Moonee Valley Cup. If he wasn't in it, you'd be struggling to really find a bet. So if he can run, to within a couple of lengths of what he did last year in the Geelong Cup, he probably wins. He doesn't have to be at his best, I don't think.
Is that CJ Graham riding in the Moonee Valley Cup?
Where? What? Why?
She's on So You Are, your favourite horse.
Yeah, why has Sterling Olsen done that?
I think she's a specialist there. I think she's unbeaten around the valley.
I thought the dangers could be Travel, Braden Star, but yeah, it looks like a really low race. But good luck to All Connections anyway. Let's get to Saturday, and we'll click through to race 6. Group 3, Powerflow Solutions, Tesio Stakes, 2040. She's a Hustler, 280. She's Unusual, 340. See what I see, $11. Jenny Lala, 12. Blinded by the Light, 12. Moving Out, 13. Molly Bloom, 19. And then you got Terrastar, $20. She's a Hustler's the horse that you like here, Nico, and it's had a couple of jump outs since. I'm not going to show it in protest because the beta racing.com site's awful, but in the maroon here is She's a Hustler.
Yeah, and those jump outs since have been really good. This was first up at 1,800 metres. I thought she had a fair bit of fitness improvement to come, and she got a bit warm on this occasion. Sort of thought when they challenged her at the top of the straight, like, oh, you're vulnerable here. And then she comes away and wins pretty soft on the line. It doesn't look like it wasn't the strongest race, but the third horse has won since. Morissette's run well since. So, there's been a little bit there in sort of terms of form. Up to 2,000 metres a tick. She carried 6.5 kilos there. Now she drops back to 54. I sort of thought with the jump out since, this looks like a real target race for her, this and the Matriarch. She's really never really put a foot wrong in her career. You could argue she should have a much better winning record than she does. She was unlucky one day at Sale when she got a huge bump. She should have gone close to winning on debut at New Zealand. It's only really that run last campaign where she went around short price in a 2,000 metre listed race and was beat by Private Legacy. She ran second in a real fast 2,000 metre race and may have been end of prep. So I just thought the way the race works out, as I said, I'm dealing with a fair track on Saturday. If the track is mad on speed, or she might be a bit of a different story, and maybe a flip to She's Unusual. They look the only two winning chances here. She's Unusual is going to be, right on top of the speed, but I think She's a Hustler. If she can build a momentum from the 8 to the 400 and sort of be within striking range, I do really think she's a mare we're just going to see the best of her this campaign, and the ratings probably suggest that as well. She ran a career peak rating there first up off what looked a pretty lackluster win visually. So, she's just on the up, and I was happy to be with her. As I said, I think there's only 2 chances, so you could probably flip whichever way the track plays here, but I was happy to stick with She's a Hustler in the early stages.
Walt, you're scribbling away there?
Well, first up, I'm sad the Bagman's gone because he could have busted out Blinded by the Light. I think that would have been the highlight of the entire show, but
Man for man.
I'm going head to head with you. I just think second up, I did that race the other day. She's a Hustler, and it was a good win. She's a horse right on the up, but it was a terrible race and very professional. Whereas She's Unusual, she's second up 2,000. She's a Hustler. She's Unusual is just completely and utterly airborne. Like that Travolta form, everything about her form is really strong. I thought she was a bit of a wet tracker, but her last couple of runs, she's really, whether it's matured, she's just learning to settle. Like you'd think she'd be ideally suited to the Valley. Looks like she's drawn to have a couple of options, either just punch forward if they don't want to lead or drop in behind a couple. She's got speed drawn inside and out of her, so she should land in a really good spot. I couldn't see much downside to her here. I think she's going to run extremely well. The other horses I thought were interesting moving out. I thought up to 2,000 metres, just given 2 barrier trials in slow run races and draws soft. Mellum Sticks, which I think is interesting. He's not scared to jump ship if he doesn't think a horse can win. So I thought it was dangerous, and I actually thought there was a 50 to 1 chance Positivity, named after myself. Just nothing run first up, then got forced wide last start. I just remember this time last year, this horse was doing some good things, Positivity, and 50 to 1, I wouldn't want to let it slip under the guard back to mare's grade. That was it for me.
Yeah, I was similar. I sort of found moving out as a bit of a knockout, and I had some non-positivity last start, so maybe in some exotics you could throw in.
I think I grabbed the keys just after the Roses run and was desperate to back moving out in the Oaks. So I'm just going to go down swinging and give her one last chance, Swift Falcon style and filthy back marker.
How good is it? It's gone for a spell. Is that not the best use of the Spring Carnival?
Yeah,
Swift Falcon.
Stradial Wongoon.
Thank God.
Yeah, the 2 target races for her now, apparently. That's what I've heard. No, yeah, moving out was dead as a doornail. I wanted to get the replay to show everyone how dead it was, but racing.com's website's going horrendous. To get the replays was painful, so I just brushed it, but great each way bet.
He wouldn't have missed much. It didn't. It just sort of poked around the inside, never really look to do a lot. Let's just put it that way.
Great race. Always pops up a couple of surprises, the Tesio. Let's have a look at race 9. It's a Drummond Golf Vase over 2040. Here's the market according to Ladbrokes. Observer 205, Options 5, Providence $9, High Vol 13, Crackerdeal 13, O'Shamus $14. Observer is the unlucky Godolphin runner in the Guineas, and the other horse worth noting for the Cox Plate preview is Nepotism in the green out behind it. Nico, moral beaten, wasn't it?
I was on pretty big actually, and I don't think he would have won actually. I think the more I watch it, Autumn Boy's probably would have held him, but he should have run a clear second, and he improved like 4 or 5 lengths in the yard there on that occasion. And I think he's just a horse that's going to continue to improve. So the more racing he has, the map's a little bit interesting here. So he was a horse early days that led up his races, but he's quite a keen going horse. He wasn't as keen last time, but it was a very fast tempo. So they put the Norton bid on him, how they sort of ride him. I would imagine he's in the first 3. If he leads, he'll definitely win. Maybe there's a little bit sort of in the camp's mind that they just want to get him to settle, especially if they're heading towards a derby, which looks like the play. I was just surprised at the price. I know he's $2.05, but I was just looking on the Ladbrokes site there with your odds surge. If you can get it, you can get $2.20. Like, that seems ridiculous odds given like Options is going to be out the back and sort of hitting the line. Providence, I couldn't really come into him. And then where do you go? Like Crackerdeal, I've backed in the derby. I think he's probably a good chance once they get up to 2,500 metres. O'Shamus is probably in a little bit of a similar boat. Quick backup. He'll be suited in the derby, but Moonee Valley doesn't really look their track. So, yeah, I thought Observer should be like $1.60, $1.70. So, yeah, just probably take the evens. If you're happy to jam him in some multis or play with bagmans, few shorties, it just looked a horse that just should really be winning. And I think they, if they had gone to the Cox Plate, I think he would have been a live chance. So he should just be winning a Vase if that's the case.
I'll get a couple of these from Kingsley because I've taken Observer in some multis as well. So I'm not allowed to. But
No, multis are bad.
multis are bad.
Multis are bad. Multis are naughty.
Naughty boy.
Yeah, I reckon this horse will be in a few though. Yeah, pretty much. I'm probably not. I'm not horned up as much as Nico is, but I don't think many people have been in history. I think that's about as strong a push as you'll ever get from the big fella.
You know why?
Why? Oh, the blue,
Yeah,
the blue, the residual blue. He hasn't had a chance to get stuck to a blue for a while, so yeah, maybe
He's
that's
got a blue jumper on now.
he's got the big cat on it. Yeah, he's awesome. 13 to 16 to 2,000. It's the only little reservation, but he's like should roll forward and be master of his own destiny. And like Nico said, trying to find dangers. It's probably that he hasn't gone forward. He hasn't. He'd have to have not be at his best. And if he's not, I thought at the same Options is just very short in comparison. 5th run first prep, probably going to get back. Where's it going to be? And then I thought, Crackerdeal definitely looks very interesting. Went great, sort of stepping straight to 2,000 last start. Then they put the blinkers on this time. Definitely think, 2,400 at, or whatever it is. Is it 24 or 25?
2,500. Still don't know.
At Flemington's definitely going to be
You knew him.
much more, Crackerdeal's go. But he does look dangerous still. He could sort of, if there's any trouble there. And I thought Arcora was just a complete forgive last time too. Just stood on its head from in behind the speed last time. And it's the other 20 to 1 chance. I could definitely throw in exotics or whatever. But I think something's going to have to go wrong for Observer to get beat here. I'm in the Nico camp. Yeah, very, very progressive looking horse and probably short in the derby after this if all goes to plan.
Providence is the other horse that I think has had the prep from hell. After it got smashed first up, it's just been on the wrong leg and maybe had some barotrial. So I don't think it can win this week, but maybe for the derby.
Short too,
It's got something, Providence, but I looked at the price. I was sort of thinking,
Exactly.
20 to 1.
33 to 1, you think about it,
Oh.
or whatever, 20 to 1, but $9. Just that's why I think Nico keeps coming back to this. It's got a short, which he's probably right.
Moonee Valley Race 10, Ladbrokes Cox Plate 2040, and small field here, especially with Globe out. Vase a favourite, $2.15, Antino $4. Treasure the Moment $5.50, Aliana $8, Buckaroo $14, 20 Nepotism, Attrition $27, and Light Infantry Man $46. Nico, here's the Turnbull. You got Via, Antino, Aliana. Your take?
Yeah, well, Via runs the quickest 4 to 2 of the race. So pretty much to this point, she's fastest and then just blows up late. Runs the 7th fastest last 200. Her and Aliana have had the exact same prep, and they probably didn't have great platforms for going to 2,000 out of 2 very slowly run 14 and 1,600 metre races, whereas Antino did come through the fast run Memsey before he went to the Mackay Diva. Look, it looks the right form. Half Yours was fantastic since, and A few of the other runners out, like River of Stars, run great out of the race. So it's usually a great sort of lead in. I was looking through her ratings throughout last campaign, and she's sort of going a little bit similar, probably like a tad worse, but not much. And it was pretty similar. She come through some slowly runs, sort of 1600 meter races, won the Ram Vet in okay style, didn't brain them. She was just too good for him in the end, and then really spiked when she found a fast run race in the Queen Elizabeth. Now, is this race going to be fast run? Now, Globe's come out. He looked the likely leader. The map is a little bit sticky, probably. I think that everyone's sort of up in the air. I think Light Infantry Man probably sets up the pace. He wants a fast run race, so he's probably the horse that injects a bit of speed, but he was woeful here. The Chestnut sort of just in behind Kings with the grey there. Attrition run well. Gee, I think they've missed a trick with Lindemann. I know he's going to go up there and win, I don't know what it is, 7 million or whatever for winning the Hill Stakes on Saturday or whatever, 2,000 metre race it is, but far out. He would have gave a big start in this Cox Plate. So in summary, I was pretty boring in the end. Like I think V is set to peak. They're going to sort of just have her at 110%, and it doesn't look like she's been at that this campaign. So I think they'll be sort of doing everything that they can to get her to that level within their legal sort of rights. And I thought she was the one to beat. And Aliana looks the one that's sort of improving. She's been the one out of the yard that probably hasn't been spot on. Her coat hasn't come through. She's got a little bit fizzed up in a few of her starts. So I think she's the one that really is set to improve. Antino's consistent, but Via and Aliana are probably going to be stalking and maybe better horses. So yeah, I was Via from Aliana in what's an interesting race to dissect given their lack of tempo.
Just got another question for you, Nico. If you're saying she's at 110, I thought she was about 145% last year in the Cox Plate, so that'd be a 35% regression. Would you agree with that? Is that a problem?
Well, if she's at that level, it may even be a weaker field this year than last year, so maybe similar. So she probably wins by 10 again. No, I think like her laying in her last two runs, like sort of looking at that and speaking to like my dad, who's a trainer and those kind of things, he was sort of like, it's never a good thing when a horse is wanting to lay in their races, and it's usually the sign of an underlying issue. But the things that they could give her, they can probably only do it maybe once or twice in a campaign. They might have just left it up their sleeve for the Cox Plate to give her a few of those injections to have her at her absolute best. Not saying there's anything untoward or anything. That's things that all trainers do. But yeah, I would imagine they might have left that up the sleeve, and we might see the real Via on Saturday, just with sort of how she races and not sort of wanting to lay in her races like her last two.
It's just the contrasting form, and Globe's obviously been scratched, and here he is beating up on Buckaroo, who might be looking for 3,200 now, and obviously Treasure the Moment off that Pride of Jenny run, and she's had the colic. How do these two in second and third bounce back off the canvas? And the strangest thing is Treasure the Moment's been 10 to 650, Nico. Riddle me that.
I couldn't work it out. Like, she just doesn't seem anywhere near her best. If she runs up to that Memsey number, yeah, she's right in play, and yeah, she had the colic, but it just seems like it's a fair play to roll the dice, given if she is at her best, she's a live winning chance. But I think she's hard to back at $6. I thought she was hard to back at $11, to be brutally honest. So I'm around her.
Yeah, I hate a thing I hate about her, and I'm a big fan, is that she travels and then doesn't find, and that's a very bad sign to me that a horse is empty. So you're wanting to. The problem is this race is now not a race, is it? Like, what the hell? What's going to happen? Live Man, is it capable of going fast? Like, it's not even. Attrition sort of landed outside the leader last start against Lindemann. They walked and it had to circle the field to get there. Treasure the Moment is definitely the fastest horse, but will they want to lead? Maybe they will after these last couple of runs. Maybe they'll just go straight to the front. The problem is it's not a race. Like, what is it? You got more replays?
No, well, I've run out.
You run out?
Well, we've seen nepotism, so that was a waste to try and rerun the film there. Like, I got a bit of a different angle. I thought Antino was the clear run of the race, and he just emptied out that last sort of 200 metres. So I thought he's the horse that probably should be favourite off the Turnbull when you're just believing what you see. And then the other horse that I thought I could back in the race would be Aliana, for a couple of reasons. I like the fact that she's drawn, well, she's now in barrier 7. So I think that she doesn't like to be inside horses, or she really excels when she's got clear air. So I think she's got two options. So Bowman can tag Antino, and he's in barrier 6, she's in 7. So he can, if she's slowly away, Aliana can just follow Antino. And then if she's fast away, I could see Aliana sitting behind whoever wants to lead, or she could just lead the whole way. And I think she's the horse I want to be on at sort of $8. So I could back her and sort of save Antino, or they're the two clear horses. And Via just does not look like she's going whatsoever to my eye. So if you want to take $2 or $2.50 about that horse, you could have got $2 about Kaying Rising last week. So to me, the math doesn't math in terms of favourites that you latch onto and bore into.
Unless you watch the lead-ups to last year where she was going very similar, and then you watch the replay of the race last year where she improved 7 lengths and has never done it again since. So it's in the back of your mind. But I 1,000,000% agree with you that betting-wise, Antino 420 and Aliana 850 look insanely better value than $2.30 Vicestina or $5.50 Treasure at the moment. Like, they're the only two horses you can possibly back. Like, I'd rather back attrition in those horses. So I'm right with you. He's adaptable, Antino. He's another horse that if he jumps Blake Shin, I think will have A1 in his mind, that he would love to just give him a little squeeze and put him straight on speed if he can. He'd love to be in front of her. And, the backup plan for him is probably to try and out-sprint her from behind her. So at least he's got the double-edged sword, a little bit like Aliana, the way he's saying. So, I think it's just such a shame that there's just
no speed.
No speed. Pretty much. That's it. Like, even if Lindemann or Observer or something was in the race.
Zach?
Well, nepotism could. I actually wrote that down. Like, that, surely that's their number A1 plan too, because, man, it didn't look like it was going to run past an ambulance to me last time. I know everyone thought it was a bit unlucky, but I thought it was a pretty steady race that was heavily pace assisted from behind, and it was still not like charging through the line, was it? So if it was mine, I'd be trying to go to the front with it too. And I was going to go heavy and say they're completely insane and probably shouldn't be allowed in the race, but I won't go that hard because of the race it is this year, and anything could happen. It's that sort of race. But I'm with Scoot here. 420 Antino and 850 Aliana look the only betting angles in a weird Cox Plate.
All right, well, there you have it. So it's going to be fascinating to see what happens. Nico, you'll be there. Yard, sign up at Nico's Yard Patreon and get around it, and he'll give staking advice. So pretty imperative, given there's going to be 20 races across this track. There's weather around, and it's a tired track. So his last push will be pretty important come Saturday. They're still racing up at Randwick. They're spewing prize money. Sort of like one of those money machines where you get in there and you just got to catch it all. But Randwick, let's start with the somewhat forgotten Group 1 Moen Shandon Spring Champion Stakes. And the market courtesy of Ladbrokes is Attica 360, Shangri-La Boy 360, Within the Law 450, and then you got Champagne Hero 15, the Pearls $15, then San Giovanni 20, Queen of Clubs 20. First replay we're going to have a look at is the Dulcify, and here it is, Attica in the Godolphin Blue, Joe Pride training. Walt, talk us through it.
Blinkers on this day, out the back and ripped home. Heavily pace assisted. Ruination was coming, I think, through a maid in the start before, but he's been going very well nonetheless. And just trying to work out whether that's the A1 form. Federalist whacking down the outside is the thing, and whether he was pace assisted, but he did sort of have to drag back there. Hippo's definitely had the choice between Attica and Shangri-La Boy here, and he's gone that way. So, that's got to be a strong positive, you would say.
And let's have a look at the gloaming. The gloaming usually provides the majority of winners of the Spring Champion.
So,
out in front.
He's a full brother. He's your half brother to Storm Boy, and first preparation, trained correct. His first start, second start, led all the way, and then here he is again. All favours, but not weak at any stage, is he? And he where he's going to be. He's going to be up forward and punching. I don't know whether his stablemate will take a sit again this time, but just trying to line that form up. You've got a few weird little horses like She's a Diva and sort of poking up late there. Again, trying to work out which is the strongest lead up is not easy. That the only
they're the only two.
Yeah, so the problem is Attica draws wide again, so that makes it difficult for Hippo. But I think there will be good speed here because there's a lot of average horses that probably all want to punch up towards the front. I think there'll be enough pressure to allow Attica to get into the race. Shangri-La Boy deeper into the first prep. I'd probably rather take. I think you'll get a little bit better Attica because the draw and where it's going to be in the run, and I'd probably rather take sort of $4 around it than I would have around the same price Shangri-La Boy, and I don't see it drifting. Within the Laws, the horse we haven't talked about that went pretty well last week behind Charwolf in the Wait for Age race. but it draws horrifically here and has to back up and get to 2,000, which is not easy either. Yeah, it's not a race that I love, to be fair. Looking for roughies, I thought San Giovanni was okay. The Pearls was okay, but yeah, it's a pretty hollow race that I wouldn't want to hang my hat on. I think Attica's the starting point, and looks a horse that, really appreciated the blinkers and settling off speed last start. So, if it come to my head, it's the way I'd be going.
Yeah, in Hippo we trust. That's the only thing that I can really split with it. Like, you just have to assume that it feels something. He can feel something that that I can't sort of see, because I can't really split these two. Horse.
I know he loves Shangri-La. Like he loves the horse. So it would have hurt him to make this decision, and whether just tin hat, and I don't know. I think the Baywhack connection too. Maybe he didn't want to rock the boat there, because that's a very important ride in the Cornwall potentially. So I don't know. There could have been underlying. Might have been a coin toss, but yeah, he's obviously gone that way.
Yeah, it just looks like it's got an X factor compared to Shangri-La Boy, which might be a bit one-dimensional. Nico?
Yeah, I agree. There's not a whole lot between them. Maybe they should have done this with Storm Boy, run him out at 2,000 metres here in Australia. Maybe he wasn't a sprinter, given his brother what he's doing here. Attica he sort of ticks the eye test, doesn't he? He looks probably like a good horse. This is the way he found the line there last start. Randwick, big tick. Can Shangri-La Boy sort of replicate what he did at Rosehill at Randwick at 2,000? Got the right rider on in Nash. He's a great rider of leaders, but Spring Champion usually is a race where you can fly home from the back with a bit of pace. So yeah, I was with him, and I haven't backed Federalist since the Champagne Stakes, where I went 1/44, and he wasn't all that far away. And I think Saturday is the day where I'll be jumping back on at a bit of a price. He looks a proper 2,000 metre horse, and maybe even a Derby horse if they're happy to test him. Probably the most well-bred horse in the race out of Arcadia Queen. I have something on him, and Attica sort of looks the one that might really be going places out of this.
It's sort of deja vu in the Spring Champion. You got the Hawks back marker.
It was too, like El Costello and Swift Falcon.
Yeah, it's spooky.
Yeah, interesting, but yeah,
great race.
Yeah, it's not, but it is.
Well, it's
not a great race, but it's a interesting race.
I was surprised nepotism didn't go that way, but obviously the Hawks camp saving it for Federalists, I suppose. Weird. Anyway, race 9 at Randwick's the Group 2 invitation over 1,400 metres, and Miss Rumbini off a slight setback, $4, Manal $4.40, Gangster Granny $5.50, Steffi Magnetica $7, Monty Supreme $10, Gerringong $12, Firestorm $14, Diamond Lil $14. Couple of replays we're going to have a look at. Golden Pendant first. Here is Manal, placed her really well.
Yeah, and an absolute PR, whatever you want to call it, perfect run, ideal run.
Gerringong.
That's Bedella down the outside, Gerringong in front, Firestorm just behind it. But literally perfect runs its last two. It was a little bit of a train wreck first up at Caulfield or wherever it was. But since then everything's gone to plan. Look at the bunch behind. Like, it's just
icky. And then Miss Rubini in the black with the yellow. And the good horse Angel Capital's just to its inside, sort of swinging off. But she savaged the line here. And
her first up run was awesome too, I think, behind Magic Time. They went quick here. So she was, a little bit pace assisted, but she looked like she was just absolutely, completely and utterly airborne. And then Nico might know more, but I think it was a blood count issue since then.
Yeah, and this is Steffi Magnetica. So first up against Manal in the, I think it was the Scirocco, and then she's had the trial since, so she's been kept fresh.
And that's Baywhack in front there. So, good pointer. Baywhack definitely trials better than her, but still, this horse is probably going to start, in the first 2 or 3 in the Cornwall. So I thought she only trialled well because she was definitely under a lot more pressure than Baywhack, but not like she's back flying, but she definitely adds interest because she's 6 weeks between runs up to 1,400 metres.
Nico, Mr. Mbini, setback. What do you know of it?
Yeah, I think it was a blood from memory. So that's probably the knock, isn't it? She hasn't sort of raced for nearly a month now. So I actually sent her out as top pick from the yard in the Rupert Clark. I thought it was the best I've ever seen her. She looked unreal, and she probably ran right up to that. Just found one better in the day. The form lines out of that race have been pretty strong, obviously with Angel Capital, but Zoo Sensations won out of it since. There's been a few other horses that have run well. So it looks a really good race to sort of good platform race. It's just, how she sort of come through it with that missing the last run. But yeah, she's airborne. I thought Medalla, so you had to look at from barrier 1. She got caught wide there at Rosehill, maybe it was a little bit better to be closer to the speed in that race. She should get a nice run. Randwick, I don't know. I kept looking at her at a bit of a price, but if Miss Rombini's at that Rupert Clark level, she will be hard to beat. There just probably is a little query if she is.
So it was a weird one there that Modella's first emergency, Borghini, is in the race. They draw 1 and 5. Like they draw, I actually thought Modella had a better chance than Borghini in this race too. So I wonder, whether the stable picked or whether whoever, I don't know how it works, the invitation, but.
The other thing, Monty Supreme's absolutely airborne as well. And if you have a look at the top 3 in the market, Steffi's off 42 days, Manal's off 28 days, and Miss Rombini's off 35. Sure, this is a target race. It's worth $2 million. Completely ridiculous. But some of these horses are hard, fit, and going super. Like, I know she's on a big upward spiral, but in my mind, 1,400, Monty Supreme's going to be perfect, isn't it?
Well, that's the problem. If she, I don't know if she does run 1,400. That's the problem. She sort of gassed there the other day on the line. I went back and looked when she was in her previous life, and she just doesn't really find the line over 1,400. She peaked every time this time over 11, then 1,200 first time last time. And in saying that, it's been hard to make ground in all those days. Even the day she won at Kensington and looped them, it was nearly impossible to win. So, yeah, in this new life, she's unknown, but at $10, if you're betting in the race, I would suggest, at worst, you just make sure she doesn't hurt you. Because I think like Gangster Granny's a 1,400 metre risk to me. Miss Rombini, tough. Like if you had told me I was going to find Manal again in this race, I would have said you're half mad. But it just looks an action replay. She's just going to land in that spot. She's absolutely perfectly set up, like third run at 1,400. But those 4 weeks, I think that's great for her. Lands in that perfect spot again. She's got a couple of horses that'll definitely go quick enough in front. Diamond Lil, Gangster Granny has to roll forward. Gerringong's got to roll forward, and she'll just cuddle in behind them. And like if Miss Rombini was coming into this run off that, it wasn't the Toorak. What was the race? The lead up to the Toorak?
Sir Rupert Clark.
It would be an even money chance in this race, I'd suggest. So if you've got the balls to say all's back on track there, and if I would have loved to have seen a trial or something, a little clean out, anything. She's dangerous, but I think Manal's the most solid option. And I think I found that Monty Supreme is just completely airborne. And your two probably interesting runners are Miss Rombini and Steffi. Just jury's out a bit on me for Steffi. I wanted to see her do a little bit more first up.
Yeah, she's sort of got the bit of the Animos about her, Manal. Just sits in the right spot and just accelerates off. And
drives you mad.
It's just crazy. And you always think, oh, yeah, that was okay. Things just panned out.
And then she draws 4 again.
And does the same thing.
The 1-1.
And just goes bang, 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 bang.
And it goes all the happiest man alive every week, Animo days.
They're great horses to back. And I guess Car Rising was like that. Just puts himself in the spot, breaks their heart for 200 and then just keeps going.
I was talking to one of our friends during the week and he said his mate had it going for 750,000. And he talked him back just before the jump into offlaying 100 or 200 or something, just to make sure he got a result. But he said he watched the right. Like, imagine having a result that significant going, and like the way that race was run, you'd be thinking Tom Berridge's going to shoot it out. It just went too good to be true, didn't it? It was just insane the way that it just like landed perfectly. He just travelled the whole way. It was like the race was running in animation.
Quick one. Have a look at this. Puntingform.com.au trainer stats. This is usually Nico's realm, so apologies for stepping on your toes. Last 50, they're running at 22% Michael Friedman and then 56% the place. Lifetime, 19.7% win, 47.4% the place.
Oh, he's just a great trainer.
Hey?
He's just a great trainer, and he tends to, I think he's the beautiful hybrid, as in he likes to take a sit, but he doesn't like to drag them back. So he tries to sort of land, he tries to box seat most of his horses. So at least he's positive at the start most of the time. Whereas a lot of those other stables, like that have the lesser strike rate, they just love to sort of make sure they've got a horse at the end of the day, I think is how they normally put it. But he's definitely can get them fit and well. And usually he's trying to get them up in the firing line or just behind it.
He's up there with our mate Joe in terms of very good trainers.
Okay. Yes.
Who do you think's better trainer?
It's very different trainers. But he's just he's just an excellent trainer, Michael Friedman. Maybe 2-3-2-year-olds, he gets going, 3-year-olds. I don't know what it is. It's hard to suggest, like with the Twitter trainer license, what he seems to be excellent at is box seat acceleration. I don't know how you find horses like that, whether you can train it. Gay's really good at getting him hard fit up on speed and keep going. He seems to just be very good at finding horses that can camp on speed and have a turn of foot. It's a great little two little two-weaponly armory to have, and he seems to be good at doing it. So I don't know what he does, but he's very good at it, whereas Joe's just very different.
Randwick race 10 is the listed 5 Diamonds Prelude. I think this one's worth $1 million for no real reason either.
It's a lead-up, mate.
Huh?
It's a lead-up race, so it's only $1 million. Otherwise, it would have been 3.
Okay. $1 million barriers roll that we're allowed to bet on. Lucky us. Transatlantic $2.60, Rise at Dawn $3.80, General Salute $9, Cafe Millennium $12, Shadizi $13, Salt Coats $14, and then you got NCAP, sort of forgotten horse, $19. Then you got the Inflictor in from 50s, Craigie Cousins still having a crack at the title, and you got Lavumpia and Pounce, well timed, a fair way out of the market. The 2 red places you can have a look at here, Walt, is Transatlantic. It's the first one, 2-rack win. This just gives me the absolute shit.
It looked a good one go alive. I didn't think they were going quick, but they actually did. They actually sort of went out about 7 above. So it does add merit to the win of Transatlantic. And yeah, like what price would Evaporate be here? I was with you. I was on Evaporate for my left and right, and the poor old Sepples got knocked out of the race early. But yeah, look, he's not weak there. And I think if anything, 1,600 back to 1,500's ideal for him off that.
And then you got the car crash here in the Aussie colours. Way out the back, you got the filthy old Von Hawk forever running on, and then everything going wrong for Willow and Shadizi just out the back. But it's just never really been in a race the last 2 starts. The replay first up was even more horrific than this, and I remember having a couple of thousand for the Mates Mode pot, and yeah, just enjoying Von Hawk and it sort of rip home for nothing.
Yeah, and like you said, and it has been dragged out both times. This time it gets the soft draw. The weights aren't ideal for this horse, but it's only, a couple of kilos out of the weight, so I don't think that's that significant in a race like this. Definitely a quirky horse that looks a bit hot-headed and not the easiest horse to ride, but yeah, if it just lands in a nice spot here, and yeah, $13 looks very attractive. That's all we're watching for replays, isn't it? Yeah, a little bit like Nico. I don't want to go full observer here, but very, very close. Like Transatlantic just draws absolutely ideally, completely perfectly set up. The weight scale's, good for it. It's not, it doesn't have to carry any sort of crazy impost against sort of horses down on the minimum or anything. There's not any surprises here. So I just can't see how this horse won't run extremely well. It's just one of the most professional horses we've got in the country. And I can't really understand why it's $260. Shadizi, as already said, is the danger, the value, I think, at $13. And then NCAP is interesting. Scoot's probably going to say something about it. It was back and wide in the Epsom and finished close up. Basically finished on the back of Chaelwolf there, which has got to be decent form here. But the problem is it's probably going to be set that sort of task again. 20-1 seems fair. General Salute, does he run 1,500? I'm not sure. Mikhail, the Inflictor can improve. It missed the start last start, draws 1 this time. But, geez, it has to produce some sort of peak. I think Rise at Dawn's just a horse. I don't think it's anywhere near as good a horse as Transatlantic. Went slow in front last start, which was probably against him. But, I think he needs all favours to justify $3.80. It just doesn't make sense to me. Cafe Millennium's $11. I think he's a 1,400-metre horse and 15 wide draw. Visiting rider. Salt Coats is back from 21. You sort of go down the line. There's just huge tasks for all of these horses, huge things against them, whereas Transatlantic should just jump on the bunny and very hard to beat, and then hopefully Shadizi's the one coming after it.
Yeah, I thought NCAP was one that market missed. I thought it's sort of just going under the radar, going pretty good, and this is sort of its level, just the rung below sort of Group 1, sort of borderline Group 2 sort of scenario. Nico, Transatlantic, a couple of these Melbourne horses. How's Transatlantic getting through its prep?
I thought he was sort of like set to peak there last start. He definitely, I'd be surprised if he's sort of over the top or anything like that. Looked like they had good improvement throughout the first couple runs this campaign. Yeah, like I know they went fast, but it was a good day to be near the speed. I sort of thought he really did get a bit of a birthday there. But this race is a lot weaker than what he faced there. And I was a bit like, well, I was surprised he wasn't a bit shorter. He's probably not going to really interest me too much. Shadizi looks the improver. And if the market's right and saying Cafe Millennium's like a good chance here, well, I'd probably rather back Shadizi out of the same form line. So we need a bit of luck, but I thought he's probably the big improver here.
Well, this is the last race of the day, Scoot. Should we let it go through or should we still just pounce or what's going to happen here?
Bet. Yeah, there's a couple to go, like Doomben.
Mate, you've got a slow memory. Tavs was only a few weeks ago. It was about 6:30 at night and your whole pot bloody was relying on it and we cheered at home as it roared to the line. And then it did it again 2 weeks later in the last race. So, yeah, you've got a short memory, big dog.
Mate, I got a picture of Tabs in my bedroom, so up on the wall there. So I just don't let you in my bedroom. Yeah, so it's about the fourth last race. So we'll be betting in Randwick race 10. Then we've got Morphettville 9 and we've got Doomben 9 and 10. So there'll be plenty of action. We're going to go deep and late on Saturday. So make sure you head to the Ladbrokes Mates Mode Pot. Definitely playing there. Oh, yeah, I can't add anything more to that last race, but Shadeezy and NCAPA will be decent winners for me. Let's have a look at Doomben. I think I've found one. I think this is just a super progressive horse. It's race 3. It's Royal Mover. It's a favourite, $1.90. Penny Hatch, $6.50. Little Fella, $6.50. Making News, $7.50. Wanted Hillbilly, $15. And you got Meet George, $16. Royal Mover. And I think it just won on raw ability. It's in the Australian bloodstock colours. It's the grey. It's in an awkward position. And just won like it's just got so much in hand. Bourbon County's down on the fence. Adam Campton's horse Manpower was 3 wide, and it'd been going really well since, but just had a lap full of these. And I think this race again, he shies at the winning post there, still a bit green, but was super at the Sunshine Coast. This Royal Mover won really effortlessly there, and I think this race again, I think Making News is somewhat dangerous, but we just still haven't seen this horse come out of second and third gear. There's just a lot more under the bonnet, and just love the way he moves. Well named Royal Mover, and I just think $1.90 is another one of these observer type multi-legs that you just got to live and breathe. And sorry, Kingsley, we're just going to keep having a couple of these little odds-on multi-jobs.
Sicko. Love it.
Nice horse though, isn't it?
Yeah. Royal Mover. Australian bloodstock. They've got them everywhere, haven't they?
They do. And he's just the way he's doing it. It's just so easy. So more in store, and Ryan Maloney's he's back in form, I think.
Ryan confidently, and I saw him ride a winner as well back yesterday. Was it Mr. Buster? You can see when he's in a good mood, Ryan, and he's at the top of his game. He was just speaking very well after the race, like he's in a good mode at the moment.
Maybe the trip to Melbourne sort of sparked him back up a bit. Nico?
Nothing from me there for Queensland. I'll leave that to completely you boys. I was just looking through a bit of the sale acceptances, sale cup day on Sunday. So never stops. This time of year, the caravan just rolls on.
You got to help me Sunday, mate. Trav let me down with Maldini in the last on Sunday. We had our hopes and dreams attached to it, and it went down at about $1.70. So I'm putting it on you this week. You got to help me.
All right, we'll find something in the last for you. It looks 18 horses at sale. We'll find something there.
Oh, perfect.
Getting good response from where Swift Falcons off to next. The Golden Topaz, the Corinthian, the Coffs Cup.
Seriously, no, mate. It's what it's being set for.
Inglis. Set for the Inglis sale.
Christ.
Half yours, great story. 300,000.
Just pre-train it at Gaze. Teach it to get out the gates. Just send it to Gaze to pre-train it. Seriously.
Send it to Michael Friedman.
Give it a chance to win. Like, man, how many? They must just rack up. I love it. And he talked about Nepsis. The fastest sections here, there. Like, it's really good running the fastest last 8, 4, and 2 of the day to get beat a length every time. How good.
Cracking. All right, cracking weekend of racing across the 2 big states. Got Bagman on fire at Morphettville, and I'll be scratching around Eagle Farm. So barely had a look at those, but if you want lots of action, make sure you head to Ladbrokes in the Mates Mode Pot, and then Walt does the Scurvy backup for sale cup day on
the
on
Sunday. Yeah, that's it. The Scurvy. What is it called? Bubble and Squeak or something? Is it? You just throw it all in the pan. That's
the next
Sundays
day.
Are, yeah.
Very good. Big thanks to puntingform.com and Ladbrokes, and we'll see you next week.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.